April the 3rd, another episode of our homework workouts. Guys, it is Friday, the weekend is getting closer. We still have no clue what's going on with the lockdown and such. We're recording this on a Thursday in the beginning of March, but we're gonna make it a fun session again today. For this workout, next to needing your smartwatch timer like you always need and recording your scores in the UnScared app, right? You're also going to need a big ass backpack that you can load up with some equipment. Make sure you don't load it too heavy, otherwise you're gonna tear your bag apart, which is terrible. Let's get started on the warm up. I'm gonna have Sval and Jenny here to join us for today. We're going to demo the movements. It's only 3 movements in the warm-up, and we're gonna start off with some very slow and perfectly executed basic bodyweight squats. The tempo indication of 3-2-X1 means seconds on the way down, seconds in the bottom. The X stands for explosive on the way up, and that last one is a top hold, so just the extension part of the squat. Let's have a look at these two. And I'm gonna count you guys into this squat, so at home, if you wanna practice it before we start, practice with us. It'll be this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Let's rest there. So we're gonna do that for a set of 8 in the actual warm-up later on. It's gonna be a long set, but I do want you guys to focus on perfect execution and never ever losing tension. So don't just fall or dive into your squat, but really pull yourself down. Now let's say that you have an injury that is telling you, hey, you cannot squat. In that case, you're going to do good mornings in that same tempo. Jenny will just show you guys 1 rep and I will count out the tempo again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, squeeze, 1. And then we go again. Very simple, right? Now, our second movement is a very weird name. It's an oblique crunch in the tabletop position. It's a reverse tabletop actually, but let's have a look at how it's set up. You're going to lay on the floor first, and you're going to start off with the following. Let's get our knees above the hips, and the legs are in that 90-degree angle or approximately with the knee. We're going to have our shoulder blades off the floor, and we're going to take our right arm or right elbow and bring it towards the left knee. Old school crunches, come back in and go to the other side. And while I talk, I need you guys to just get into a regular tempo. Here we go. Now this looks very old school, but old school stuff is often the best stuff. It's nice to target that rotation component of the spine again and work the obliques a bit more than just the abdominal muscles in the front of the body. Perfect. Now, the third and final movement in this general warm-up is going to be our plank press-up, where we move from the elbow plank to a plank on long arms. We're going to have a look at the following. Sval and Jenny are both going to start off on the real one, so the RX one. They move from elbow plank towards plank on full hands, and they're going to hold every position for a bit. Let's keep moving, guys. The idea is when you do 10 reps in the warm-up is to either alternate the arm with which you press up first, or to do half of the reps in one direction and the second half in the other direction. And I did say one direction there, I know. I'm not a fan though. Now let's say that you want to do this scale because it's just a bit too rough. Now like Jenny is doing, you can also start on the elbows and then just lift up an elbow, come back down. Lift up an elbow, come back down. That is a perfect way of scaling this movement and still having to fight the balance and having that pressing component with more pressure on one shoulder than on the other. So it is time to start off on our general warm-up here. So we just showed you the movements. Now I need you guys to join in on the action because we're going to do these 3 movements in a 6-minute quality AMRAP. When we write down that cue, it basically means go very slow and make it look as perfect as possible. Now, if you guys are ready as well, we're going to start with the squats in a very slow tempo. This might feel very boring, but I'm going to count out all these seconds and all these reps for you in a 6-minute time frame. Make sure you set your smartwatch app and set the timer at just 6 minutes. You guys are ready as well? Okay, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, up, hold. 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 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, up, hold. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, up, done. That was great. Now we move on to our second exercise, which is the tabletop oblique crunch. We're gonna lay on our backs here. You guys get started on 8 reps. Let's go. We're going to alternate those reps, so then it suddenly becomes 16 because it was 8 and 8. So I like it when we alternate these movements to get more into like a flow instead of just hammering one movement at a time. So we go for 16 alternating, but it says 8/8, so we know what's happening here. Right upon completion, they move into their press ups and plank. So they're both going to start on the elbow, and what I always want you guys to do when you do this is keep shoulders and hips in line and press up your shoulders to the ceiling as high as you possibly can for all 10 reps. Now Jenny is having a hard time, so she's going to switch to scaling now and only move her elbows up. There you go. So she can actually keep the balance in there, keep shoulders and hips in line, and feel like she can actually press up her shoulders into the ceiling. Solid work. There we go. Now Sval is already on to his second round, and Jenny is done as well. Now you guys, this only took about 2 minutes, so you probably can do another 2 rounds, move perfectly, continue, and press pause. So it is time for part 2 of today's session. Not your general mobility, but some additional core work here. So what we'll start off with is showing you guys the 2 movements that we have today, and that's going to be the hollow body hold, and it's going to be an ab bicycle, which is very old school boot campish. Now let's have a look at Jenny and Sval here. They're both going to start off in their hollow body by aiming to be just a very long and tall banana with the lower body pinched into the lower back pinched into the floor. That's perfect. So Sval is going for that kind of like RX hollow body here. Now Jenny is going to scale it down by Sval is holding by pulling in a leg. She can also pull in the other leg. She can bring in one arm, and then she can bring in the other arm, and then she ends up in kind of like a tuck hold position, right? Perfectly demo of 2 different variations of a hollow. Now what is going to be very important in today's workout is the 30-second time frame I need you to do unbroken. So what you can do is you start in the hollow body, and if you feel like you're failing, so your lower back starts to come off the floor, you're going to scale down, but you need to be able to maintain tension for the full 30 seconds. You can just scale down within the actual movement. We will show you that once we do the actual workout together. Now let's see the second movement, which is the ab bicycle. Now, we do this right after the hollow, so shoulder blades are off the floor. Either have your hands across or hands pressed into the floor, and now you're going to make bicycle kicks. Boom. And you'll do 20, and we count those as alternating today. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 20, and then we're done. Now, what is going to be important is that lower back in the floor, shoulder blades off. Those are your only 2 points to keep paying attention to, and obviously the closer the legs are to the floor, the tougher it's going to be. Get your smartwatch timer, because we're going to do 30 seconds of the hollow hold, and after the 30 seconds you immediately move on to the ab bicycles. Immediately. That means there's no break between hollow and ab bicycles. It's going to be a big ab burner, and upon completion of the 20 you take a minute of rest. It totals for 3 rounds. We'll do 1 round with you guys, so let's come off the couch, lay on the back on the floor, and let's get started. I'm gonna set my timer so we have a full 30 seconds. I hope Jenny and Sval are ready as well. They're looking forward to this piece here. Okay, we're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hollow hold, 30 seconds. Now, like I said, guys, it's okay to scale down. It is okay to scale down. I need you to hold it for the full 30 seconds. And if that means you end up in a tuck position, that should be okay. Because we're trying to create tension for 30 seconds and not trying to accumulate 30 seconds. We're 20 seconds in, so I'm going to count down the last 3 and then you guys start on the ab bicycles. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go. Let's go. Ab bicycles. So your shoulder blades stay off the floor. Every leg that moves is a rep. You go fast. You keep your legs nice and low. Full 20, and then we have a minute of rest. So guys, keep going. No breaks. No breaks. Push through. Push through. Keep extending those legs forward. You guys at home as well, don't cheat on us here. All right, you got 1 minute of rest right now. After that minute of rest, you need to do 2 more rounds. So continue and press pause. We just had a pretty tough ab portion in this session today, right? But now we're going to hit the workout portion. Now the workout asks you to have a bag, So you need a heavy backpack, and you need something to place your hands on for assistance during the dips. Now, we're going to show you all 3 movements of the first 10-minute AMRAP, but also the 4th movement that we're going to do after the AMRAP. I will explain the concept later, right? Now, let's have a look at Sval and Jenny here. They're going to have that backpack. You need to find something where you can hold on to with your hands. Just you guys grab the back first and stand up tall for me. Good. Now what they're going to do is perform a clean. So let's clean the back, bring it to the floor, come up, boom, to the shoulder. From there, bring it overhead with some leg drive. Boom. It can be a push press. It can also be a jerk. Let's show a jerk as well. Boom. And now cycle for 3 clean jerks for me, guys. So from the floor to the shoulder to overhead. Redo from the floor to the shoulder to overhead. Make sure you bring your hips down once you're moving the back down. All right, let's bring the back to the floor. Good. So RX versus skilled, it doesn't exist in this workout. You can load up the back to heavy, you can load up the back to light, you can grab whatever object you have at home and move it in front of the body through that clean and that jerk portion. Now scaling for injuries, we're going to make that one very simple for today. If you cannot do a clean, and Jenny's going to show you, she cannot do a clean, so that's going to be tough to demo, right? So she cannot do a clean, so what she will do is she will do only the jerk portion of the clean and jerk, but not for 10 reps, but for 20 reps. So we double the movement you actually can do. Perfect. Now let's say that Jenny cannot go overhead because of a shoulder injury, then she's going to do 20 cleans instead of 10 clean and jerks. Clean 1, clean 2, chest stays up, butt goes down, clean 3, etc. Perfect, right? So we can't clean, we double the amount of reps and do jerks. We can jerk, we double the amount of reps of cleans. All right, perfect. Now, let's move on to our second movement, which will be a front squat. We're going to grab that back, we're going to place it up high at the chest, and we're going to hug it. Let's just hug it. Let's hug that back. Perfect. Good. Now, in that position, we're going to bring our hips down in between the heels. And we stay as upright as we possibly can. Let's get back up. Good. And I'll just give you guys a couple of reps. Our pressure is going to stay in the middle of the foot throughout the movement. I'm going to squeeze that bag in tight to the body. We prefer to have the bag in the front to load the anterior chain a bit more and make it more quad dominant here. Perfect front squat executed with the back. That is our second movement. Jenny's going to hold the back. That's fine. You can ditch the back, buddy. Now let's say that Jenny has an injury in her knees or something that withholds her from actually doing proper squat. Now she's going to do good mornings, but when she does good mornings, I need that back to stay up high at the chest. Slight knee bend here, drive the hips back, and then hinge. Squeeze your butt on the way up, shaboom. Hinge, butt on the way up. Boom. Pressure is now going to be more towards the heels than towards the middle of the foot like we had in the squat. Good, you guys can put the bag on the side. And if you guys look closely at home, they now have a chair or a sofa or whatever you have that is elevated from the floor a bit to place our hands on, because now we're going to perform dips. All right guys, let's place your hands in the chair. Now Sval will immediately go to RX dips, which is legs straight in front of you on the heels. You guys can start your set of dips here. The idea is to bring the body down so the elbow bends and the shoulder comes underneath the elbow. You want to stay close to the object on the way down, but also on the way up, and look for a big range of motion. Jenny is scaling this movement by bending her knees, which allows her to get some more pressure in the legs, makes it a bit easier to move up and down. With that way, you can still do the movement unbroken, and doing this unbroken is exactly what we need today. Now, let's say that Jenny has an injury in the shoulder that makes it very hard to get into that position, which is totally understandable. In that case, I want her to use the bag again and do rows with the bag. So Jenny, let's show me that. This is injury scaling crew at home. You're gonna go in a bend over position. You pull up the elbows back and up, nice and high, and you move through the rows. She's having a light backpack here because it's mine. But you can also load up that bag with bottles of water, whatever you could think of, and make this a very interesting workout with some external loading up there. Beautiful. Now, there is a fourth component in this workout that starts upon completion of the 10-minute AMRAP, and that is an overhead hold with the bag. Now I need both of you guys to grab your bag, bring it overhead, and just stand there for the people at home. Possible. Here we go. So they're just standing there with the bag overhead hold. Jenny just told me she can hold a barbell overhead for 15 minutes. She did that. She can't do it anymore now, but she actually did that. Now the idea is today in the workout to do this for 5 minutes. Not to do it once for 5 minutes, but to accumulate 5 minutes, which means if you break after 1 minute and you rest for whatever amount of seconds you want, you still need to do another 4 minutes until you've accumulated all 5. In the overhead hold, I want you to think of having your shoulders down, bracing your belly, keeping your butt tight, and just keeping perfect stacks, joints on top of each other. Bring the hype! Time to get into the workout, guys. I'm gonna explain the concept to you. It will be a 10-minute AMRAP of 10 back clean and jerks, then 10 back front squats, and then 10 dips. As much work if you can as that. Upon completion, make sure you lock your results in the UnScared app so we all stay connected with the entire community, even when you're at home working out. Now, upon completion of 10 minutes, there's a second portion that's going to start. You need a separate timer for that. And what you're going to have to do is accumulate 5 minutes in that overhead hold with the back. If you drop it after a minute, shake it off, you pick it back up, you still have to do another 4. I would just set an ongoing 4-time timer and do fixed segments of 30, 45 or a minute and make sure you get all 5 minutes done. Do not score that, but just do it. That's all I recommend you guys to do. Now, are you guys ready to get started? All right, let's do it, man. I'm gonna get my smartwatch here. We're gonna have 10-minute AMRAP timer set. We start at 3, 2, 1, and go. So 10 clean and jerks, make sure the butt goes down when the bag goes down as well. Use your hips and legs to drive the bag up, and then upon completion of that clean, jerk that thing overhead. Here we go. Now scaling, guys, is just the amount of weight you're using in the bag. That's all we need. Now what I would love to see is after the 10th clean and jerk, the back immediately goes to the chest with a firm grip and you start on the front squat. I think we don't need to put the bag down, especially not in the first round. Here we go, Jenny is done. She's gonna start on her front squats. The Sval is right behind there. Pressure in the front squats in the middle of the foot. We go nice and low, we extend all the way up. You're gonna go as low as you possibly can while maintaining proper position. Sit your hips in between your heels. Don't shoot them back too far and make sure you stay as upright as possible. After 10, bag goes down, we move on to our object and we start on our set of dips. Now this is where Jenny starts to scale and actually has her legs bended while Sval has his legs extended. Make sure you stay close to the object and you hit a good lockout in the top because you need to build those big triceps here. Now, Sval is done. He's moving on to his second round. I think it only took him like a minute and a half, a little bit less to get to a round. So we're gonna see people doing 7 to 8 rounds on this workout, which is great, right? Now, continue, press pause. My lesson, oh my God. Yeah. All right, so we've just finished our 10-minute AMRAP. I think you also finished your 10-minute AMRAP. And what do we do after the 10-minute AMRAP? We move on to that overhead hold with the back. Now, we're doing that already for approximately a minute and a half now. So they're still 3.5 minutes away from the full 5 minutes. If there's gonna be a break, that is all good. Make sure you accumulate the entire 5 minutes with a bag overhead to finish off this April the 3rd. And after that, I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Continue and press pause. You log that in the UnScared app, which is reps and rounds, right? Then rounds and reps, right? No, reps and rounds, rounds and reps, reps and rounds and reps.